Hi Victorians, so today I'll be sharing a little bit more about what I feel the VS Spirit is and also my experience with the VS Spirit. So before I begin, I have this short story to tell about how during last year I had this interaction with a VS teacher about the VS Spirit, and it was during the higher mother tongue intensive lessons that we have before the O-level higher mother tongue paper. So I remember my higher Chinese teacher, he mentioned how the VS Spirit is the spirit of doing things best at the last minute, and thus how effective these intensive lessons are for Victorians. It was really funny, but also thought-provoking to the extent that where I felt that everyone feels a different way about how they feel the VS Spirit. And maybe for some of us, it might be the VS spirit of having fun, the VS spirit of procrastinating to the last minute, or the VS spirit of having people around us. And I think that this is what makes the VS spirit so unique. And this is exactly why um, I personally enjoy the VS spirit. And it's something that is so indescribable and it's a feeling that is so unexplainable. So in this uh, short little message, I'll try my best to describe and share my experience in VS that have allowed me to feel this belief for the VS spirit. So firstly, I feel that the VS spirit is something that has to be felt very personally at a very personal level. And we are all too familiar with the cheer, the VS cheer that says, I've got the VS spirit bred deep in my heart. So it's not just a feeling in our hearts, but it's a spirit that lies deep in our hearts, a passion. And I remember seeing this passion very clearly my in my seniors, especially during the first few days of my time in VS when I was just a year one Victorian. I remember stepping into a very strange and foreign environment as many of us did. And it was during this first assembly that we had that I saw this passion that that was driven by the VS spirit and this unity of all the Victorians. So during the after the assembly, after we sang after the seniors sang the Victorian anthem, and us as year one Victorians was just confused and and new to the whole school hall environment. I remember the head prefect, he he ran to the side of the stage and grabbed the VS flag and ran into the center of the hall and rallied and just gathered his group of senior leaders who gathered the whole Victorian assembly together in the center of the hall, and they started shouting out cheers one after another. And I think this was this very action of just shouting cheers, even though it wasn't done by us, even though I was just a witness to the incident, it really made me feel how contagious and allowed me to have the first taste of what the VS spirit felt like. And I'm sure many of my batchmates present during that first assembly would really agree that it was one of the most memorable experiences that we had in VS. And I will really never forget this, as this was something that inspired me to want to be a student leader and also to proudly uphold this school spirit and to spread this pride of upholding the school spirit in such a spontaneous manner. So uh, during during this during my sec during my year three when I was in year three, I was given the opportunity to also be an orientation leader and to be able to share this excitement of having the VS spirit with my juniors, and I eagerly took it up. And I remember how we also, as orientation leaders, as junior leaders, also got the set ones to cheer alongside with us and to teach them the cheers. And it was very heartwarming when they started doing the cheers spontaneously together with us. Yes, and also on to my second point, which is also tied to the first point, where ensuring one key feature is that it's almost never done by one person. So although my first point was that the VS spirit has to be felt personally, the VS spirit also becomes so contagious that it has to be felt within each person and shines brightest when Victorians come together, no matter our class, no matter our batch or our house, but as one Victorian family. And this cheering that we have during our match support sessions, during cheering sessions, just makes it even so much. more, just really gives the feels and how you see uh your Victorians, be it seniors, juniors around you, also cheering to their heart's content and cheering to their loudest. And I think um and that's why I think that this this VS spirit is so indescribable that it is yet it has to be yet felt personally on a personal level, but also can be felt interpersonally, especially when we are among Victorians. And so, in conclusion, to my juniors who are still in VS, I would advise you to cherish the friendship and brotherhood that you will forge with Victorians. They may be your classmates, your CCA mates, housemates, or simply people that you meet in VS. Because you cherish these friendships because they are the basic foundation for what shapes the VS spirit for you and what shapes how you feel about this VS spirit. That even after you leave VS, when you meet new friends, these Victorians that you have met, these friends in VS that you have met, will continue to be the bros that will have your back. And as I've mentioned, this VS spirit is so indescribable. It is so independent on how we each find meaning to it. And therefore, I urge every Victorian to find their own meaning in this VS spirit and to hold on to it and to really allow it to uh, light the flame and spread this contagious VS spirit that you can hold on firmly. So, in conclusion, happy 145th anniversary VS. Thank you.